Welcome. This is the Senior Safety Advice podcast, and we are so glad that you've made it to a calmer corner of your day. Here, we focus on real solutions, practical help, and the kind of encouragement we could all use a little more of. So let's get to it.
Ice does not care how careful you are. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true, right? One tiny patch of ice can take down even the strongest person in a split second. Today I'm going to show you simple ways to stay steady on your feet during the winter months so you can feel safer every time you step outside. You'll learn what to look for, how to prepare before you walk out the door, and what gear actually makes a difference. And if you're new here, I'm Robin Schultz, a certified dementia specialist, and I've spent years helping older adults stay safe at home and out in their communities, even when the weather doesn't cooperate. All right, let's get into it. When winter hits, everything changes. Obviously, the air is colder, the ground definitely feels harder, and those slick spots seem to pop up out of nowhere. I always tell people that winter walking is a whole different thing. You would not play tennis in flip-flops, right? Well, we shouldn't try walking on icy sidewalks in regular shoes either. One of the first things I want you to know is that most winter falls happen when ice is thin and nearly invisible. That is the tricky part. It does not have to look like a skating rink to be dangerous. Sometimes it's that light, glassy coating called black ice. You look down and everything looks fine, and then suddenly your foot slides out from under you and there's nothing to grab onto. So here's what I mean when I say winter walking starts before you even leave the house. Preparation is your best friend. Start by checking the weather. I know that's obvious, but a lot of us forget about it. If temperatures rise during the day and then drop again around sunset, you get melting and refreezing, which is the perfect recipe for hidden ice. Next, think about your shoes. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make. Many older adults wear comfortable indoor-style shoes outside, ones that have smooth soles or smooth bottoms. But winter walking requires shoes with deep tread, like the bottom of a hiking boot. Your shoes need something that can grab onto uneven ground. And if you really want to boost your safety, consider getting traction cleats. These slip right over your shoes and they add little metal grips to the sole. They make a huge difference. It's like putting chains on your tires. It just helps you to stay grounded. Now, once you step outside, slow everything down. This is where you're going to do what I call the penguin walk. You might have heard of it, but it's actually a great technique. You keep your feet slightly turned out, you take short steps, and you keep your center of gravity forward. So, kind of like how a penguin waddles. Also, your hands need to be free. I know it's tempting to walk with your hands in your pockets because it's cold. But when your hands are tucked away, your balance is actually worse. If you do slip, you can't recover or brace yourself either. Gloves are the best choice if you're outside in cold weather. You need warm hands and free arms. Something else to look for is uneven surfaces. Even in a well-kept neighborhood, you'll find spots where the ice builds up around curbs, cracks, or dips in the sidewalk. Those are definitely danger zones. Take your time with each step. It's better to arrive slowly and safely than to rush and risk a fall. Now let's talk about lighting for a second. Winter days are short, and a lot of older adults end up walking in the early morning or the late afternoon when visibility is low. If you can, carry a small flashlight or use the one on your phone to check the ground ahead of you. Shadows can hide icy spots, and poor lighting makes judging the surface really tough. Another simple strategy is using handrails if there are any available. So if you're walking down a driveway that slopes towards the street, that would be a common slipping point, but if you have a railing or even a sturdy wall to guide you, make sure you hang on to it and use it. It's not a sign that you're weak, it's a sign that you're smart to use it. I also want to mention that sometimes the safest choice is to ask for help. When there's been a storm or a deep freeze, it might just be too risky to go out alone. There is no shame in waiting a few hours and letting neighbors or city crews clear the sidewalk, or asking a family member to come and get you or to walk with you. And if you're using a cane or walker, you might need some extra support. There are attachments that you can add to the bottom of a cane that give better traction on ice. And for walkers, you want to make sure all 4 rubber tips have a good grip. If they're worn smooth at all, if you've been using them for a while, it's definitely time to replace them. One more tip. Put salt or sand on your walkway or your driveway, but particularly your walkway. Even if you don't have a big area to cover, treating spots right outside your door can prevent that dangerous first step, which sometimes it's all it takes. The goal is not to make winter feel scary, it's to help you stay confident and steady, and confidence comes from having a plan. So remember, prepare before you leave, wear the right shoes, walk like a penguin, keep your hands free, watch for hidden ice, and don't be afraid to ask for help when the weather turns rough. Winter does not have to slow you down. You just need the right tools and habits to stay safe out there. So thanks for joining me today. If this episode brought a little peace to your day, share it with someone you care about. Maybe someone who could use a reminder to pause and reflect. You'll find more resources for seniors and caregivers at Senior SafetyAdvice.com. And please come back tomorrow for another daily moment of guidance and encouragement, right here on the Senior Safety Advice Podcast. Until next time, take care. Bye.
This podcast is part of our mission to help older adults live safely and independently. If you'd like to take the next step, visit aginginplacedirectory.com, where you'll find specialists, helpful resources, and inspiration to make every home your place to thrive.